advantage of having Healthy Start, then we're getting the tongue up in the mouth and the roof of the mouth at night. And that's where I have trouble sometimes. I teach my patients how to keep their tongue up in the roof of the mouth during the daytime and where the proper placement is and breathing through the nose. But it's at nighttime where we struggle sometimes to get the tongue up in the proper area so that they can breathe through their mouth, through their nose, because we do know that, of course, the palate is the bottom of the nose. So that is where I see this has helped. We have seen so many kids wetting the bed. It is unbelievable, and I think that is the biggest thing I get out of this, is helping these children have confidence in themselves and be able to feel good about themselves.
We had a patient that we videoed and mom videoed it. It showed the child that you were talking about earlier sleeping and not sleeping well, eyes open. You could see him stop breathing. And so we started the appliance. Bedwetting went down from every night to about maybe 4 times in 1 month. We started a month, and we said, look at these tonsils. This is a problem. This kid's 10 years old. We were wondering why this child the pediatrician hadn't said something about it before. We told Dr. West, he saw it immediately. He's like, let's do adenoids and tonsils. During the procedure, I got to go watch. I leaned over his shoulder and watched the whole surgery. It was amazing. When they were intubating, Dr. West and I were sitting there talking, and anesthesiologist was just struggling. We looked over there, and she's like, I cannot even intubate this child. The tonsils are so big. She goes, how in the heck did this child get to this age with this size of tonsils? And Dr. West, you need help? And she's like, no, I got it. And so they got it going, and he took out the tonsils, adenoids. The mom was amazed. Like a few days later, the child is sleeping better. And it's amazing what you can do with that side of it and what a Healthy Start can do.
And he's been dry ever since.
And yeah, amazing.
How long has that been?
It was a month for the first habit corrector we put in. We had 4 wet nights only. And after that, he's been dry ever since. It's probably been another 6 weeks.
So the key to one of the keys to the what was called Orthotain appliance is we're advancing the mandible. Okay, we're advancing the mandible. We're going to end up with healthy joints. The face is going to look better. We're going to get rid of that mentalis fold. As Dr. Bergerson lectured many times, we're increasing growth in the mandible and actually decreasing growth in the maxilla. So we're correcting that overjet appliance at the same time, allowing the mandible to advance, as opposed to, and I brought this up because I'm not a fan of the chin cut, because I don't think you're allowing the mandible to advance. That's just my opinion.
I have 3 patients right now that are female. It brings tears to my eyes. They're 18 to 21. They had orthodontics. They are now open bite, TMD, all these problems because they had a tongue posture that was not noticed by their orthodontist, and maybe they just didn't notice it. But they had a tongue posture, so the braces were removed. They continued to grow. Their tongue continued to rest interdentally. It continued to be a problem. Now they're seeing me. I'm trying to help them. It's just a difficult situation. I would much rather work with people who are working on these children that are.
What makes Healthy Start so unique is that the appliances address everything at the same time. So your PMD situation is addressed. The jaw relationship is addressed. The swallow is addressed. The tabs actually allow us to expand the arches and allow the tongue to be in the upper arch of our dentition, in that right position. Lips closed when we're sleeping, preventing mouth breathing, encouraging nasal breathing. It all happens at the same time. And frosting on the cake. Teeth are guided and straight. So we're going to end up with straight teeth at the end. And we're catching them before the fiber bundles develop. So as the teeth develop, those fiber bundles develop, and it's a permanent change. They're anchored in that. Yes?
You mentioned about half the kids have relapse as far as the nasal obstruction. Or mouth breathing, even obstruction relief. ENTs, I mean, I've never knew that, so to speak. We see our kids a couple weeks after surgery, they're sleeping better, they're breathing better, they're fixed. In retrospect now, I'm seeing these kids later for different reasons, I'm asking about the mouth breathing. Now that I've been made aware of it, I'm realizing a lot of these kids aren't. And there's nobody in ENT that we were talking about that before.
Right. And it's...
I tried to get their tonsils out when they were
very young. I saw it as a problem. I could not get a doctor to take them out. And they both became severe ADHD with all sorts of other problems. And so I've lived that problem of not, if we'd have gotten their tongue, and I treated them as well as I could, but it was too late. They'd already developed severe ADHD.
One thing that I've kind of learned over time also is that a lot of times these kids, when you do sleep studies in kids, about 95% of ENTs don't do sleep studies because it's not as accurate in kids. And it's really, to me, a sleep study made for a 300-pound guy like me. But that a lot of times these kids will have UARS, where they'll be tossing and turning, but they won't have obstruction, like the sleep study I got from Children's the other day. Kid woke up like 78 times throughout the night.
Yeah.
And it was normal, and they said it was normal. Well, that's not normal to wake up that much all night. So the other thing is just to be aware that just because a sleep study says they don't have any apnea, doesn't mean they're sleeping well.
And Jeff,
A lot of the kids, if you ask, and it's funny because a lot of times the parents will surprised at the answer. I'll ask them a lot of times about dreaming. A lot of times when they're not getting their good stage 3, 4 sleep, they're not rebounding to dream. And so a lot of times I'll ask the kids about dreaming. And 9 out of 10 of these kids don't dream at all. And it's always fun after surgery because they will start dreaming within about 3 weeks to 2 months. I always ask the parents to let me know if I was interested in how far out. That's when I know they're caught up in their sleep. And the other thing is, a lot of times these kids will have nightmares, like you said, because they'll come up. Basically, you're asleep and you're waking yourself up. The phone rings and you're waking yourself up, and the phone call incorporates into your dream as you're going through REM. As you're waking yourself up. And the same thing will happen with nightmares because they'll wake up not breathing. Go through that dreaming phase, not breathing. I had a lady today, she's an adult. She woke up one time and felt like someone had her by the neck. She had a Mallampati 4. She had no airway, and so she slept on her side more. But so kids will have nightmares related. That I see that a lot. It's fun because the nightmares completely go away almost immediately, and then after we get about 3 weeks to 2 months, they start dreaming. That's why I know they're caught up.
It's a big symptom, and if they dream, they're having sufficient REM sleep. But when they have mostly delta sleep, which is that deep sleep, slow wave sleep, they're going to have nightmares. And if a child wakes up screaming, that's a very good symptom that they have airway problems. REM sleep is important. It requires oxygen. Delta sleep does not require oxygen.